Close your eyes now, my sweet dreamer. Let the soft breeze I'm sending through your headphones brush gently across your cheeks like cool, calm, almost weightless, carrying the faintest scent of night air after rain. Feel your shoulders sink a little deeper into the pillow, your breath slowing to match the quiet rhythm of my whisper, soft as silk, warm as the blanket you're tucked beneath tonight. We're going to drift together into a story you already know, yet tonight it will feel brand new, because I'm going to tell it to you the way a loving voice tells a bedtime story. Slowly, gently, with long pauses for your mind to float, with every tiny detail painted in the softest colors, so that every scene becomes a lullaby. This is the tale of a man named Thomas Anderson, of a woman named Trinity, of a ship called the Nebuchadnezzar, and of a dream so powerful it changed the world. You may have seen the green rain of code, the slow-motion bullets, the leather coats catching the wind, but tonight those images will melt into something tender, something that cradles you towards sleep. Let the gentle wind keep blowing, let the distant rain begin to fall behind my voice, light, steady, soothing, like fingers brushing your hair. And if at any moment you feel tingles travel from the top of your head down your spine, just breathe into them, let them carry you deeper. You are safe here, you are held. Long ago, in the year 1999, two brilliant sisters named Lana and Lily Wachowski poured their hearts into a movie that would become legend, shot on a modest budget in Australia, with actors who trained for months in wire work and martial arts because they believed in the dream. Fun little secret. The famous bullet time effect, where time bends around flying bullets, was achieved with over 100 still cameras arranged in a circle firing at the exact same moment, something no one had ever done before. Tonight, that revolutionary moment will simply be a soft swirl of air around you. Nothing to fear, only wonder. Have you ever felt, even once, that the world around you wasn't quite real, like a dream you couldn't wake from? Hold that feeling gently, like a firefly in your palms, because that is exactly where our story begins. Imagine a quiet apartment at night, the blue glow of computer screens painting everything in cool light. Thomas Anderson, who calls himself Neo online, sits hunched over his keyboard, eyes tired, heart restless. The room smells faintly of old pizza and warm electronics. His fingers tap softly, tap, 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 searching for answers to questions he can barely form. On the screen, glowing green letters spell out, "The Matrix has you." He doesn't know it yet, but those words are the first gentle knock on the door of his awakening. Outside his window, rain begins to fall. The same rain that will one day carry him into the sky. Feel that rain now, soft on the roof above you, steady and kind. There's a knock at his door in the middle of the night, real this time, sharp but distant. A beautiful woman in shiny black leather stands there. Her name is Trinity, her voice low and certain. She tells him to follow the white rabbit. And on the shoulder of one of his customers, a tattoo of a tiny white rabbit glows under club lights later that night. The bass of the music is deep, but tonight we'll let it become the slow, comforting thump of your own heart. Neo follows her into the dark corridors, pulsing lights, the smell of sweat and smoke, until Trinity leans close and whispers, "You've been searching for him your whole life." Him, Morpheus. The name tastes like hope on her lips. Can you remember the first time someone looked at you like they already knew the person you were meant to become? Let that memory glow softly, then let it go, drifting away like mist. The next day, Neo sits in a stark interrogation room, cold metal table under his palms, harsh white light overhead. Agent Smith, tall, emotionless, voice smooth as glass, tells him this life is a lie. They place a tiny silver bug in his belly, without him feeling it. Yet tonight, that moment becomes only the lightest tickle across your skin, nothing more. When Neo wakes in his bed, heart racing, he doesn't know what was dream and what was real. Neither do we sometimes. That's okay. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Good. The rain keeps falling, softer now, lulling you. And then, the meeting. An abandoned building, dust floating in shafts of gray light, old wooden chairs creaking as Neo sits. Morpheus enters, long coat sweeping the floor, voice deep and warm like a hearth fire on a winter night. He offers 2 pills on his open palms, blue to forget and return to sleep, red to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. The leather of his gloves creaks softly as he closes his fingers. Neo's hand trembles, but he chooses red. The mirror in the room begins to melt, silver liquid crawling up his arm, into his mouth, cool, metallic, strangely comforting, like diving into a quiet lake at midnight. Everything dissolves. He wakes, gasping in a pinkish pod filled with warm fluid, tubes in his arms, his throat, his spine. The world is red and wet and terrifying, yet tonight it will feel only like a distant memory of being held. Giant machines, cold and insect-like, unplug him, flush him down a dark tunnel into icy water. A claw reaches down, gentle in our story, and lifts him into the arms of his new family aboard the Nebuchadnezzar. Trinity's eyes are full of tears and relief as she whispers, "Welcome home." The ship hums around them, warm lights, the smell of metal and soup and safety. You are almost weightless now, aren't you? Let the hum of the ship become the hum behind my voice, rocking you. Rocking you. Morpheus stands over Neo's shivering body and says, voice tender, "Welcome to the real world." And somewhere inside you, a tiny spark of hope flickers, because no matter how frightening the truth may be, waking up means you are no longer alone. Rest now. The rain is softer, the wind gentler. We have only just begun, but already you are safe. Already you are drifting. When you're ready, we'll follow Neo into his training, into his first steps as the One. For now, just breathe. Just listen. Just let the story hold you like the warmest blanket you've ever known. The Nebuchadnezzar floats through the dark tunnels of the real world like an old whale made of iron and rust, its engines breathing slow and steady, the way your own chest rises and falls right now. Feel that low, comforting hum travel through the mattress beneath you, through your bones, softening every knot you didn't even know you were carrying. The air inside the ship smells faintly of warm oil, hot soup, and something almost like home. Neo lies on a narrow cot, hair still wet, skin pale and new, shivering even though Trinity has wrapped 3 blankets around him. His muscles remember nothing of the pod life. Every movement feels borrowed, fragile, like the first steps of a fawn. Morpheus sits beside him, patient as moonlight, and begins to speak in that deep, slow voice that could lull oceans to sleep. "Listen closely," he whispers, and you can almost feel his breath near your ear. The world you knew was a prison built for your mind. The desert of the real stretches outside these walls, scorched and silent. But inside this ship, you are surrounded by people who chose to wake up, just like you did. Neo's eyes are wide, pupils huge in the dim red light of the mess hall. Tank, sweet Tank with his kind smile and shaved head, offers him a bowl of single-cell protein that looks like gray oatmeal and tastes, Neo says, like runny eggs, only worse. Yet tonight, that taste becomes the softest warmth in your stomach. Nothing unpleasant, just nourishment, just care. Have you ever eaten something simple that someone made just for you after a very long day? Let that memory bloom gently. Then let it drift away on the ship's quiet hum. They plug him into the training programs the way you might slip into the coziest dream. First comes the jump program, an endless city rooftop under a pale blue sky. Trinity stands beside him in her tight black tank top, sunglasses reflecting the sun, and says, "You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, disbelief. Free your mind. The wind up there is cool and smells of dust and distant rain." Neo runs, feet pounding softly on the concrete, and leaps and falls, crashing onto a hard street far below. Blood in his mouth, the taste of copper and shock. But in our telling tonight, the fall is only a gentle tumble into feathers. The blood, only the faintest warmth on your lip, gone before you even notice. Morpheus kneels beside him and whispers, "Do you believe that's air you're breathing now?" And Neo laughs, a small, broken, beautiful laugh, because for the first time he feels truly alive. Can you remember the first moment you realized you could be more than you thought? Hold that moment like a tiny star in your chest and let it glow. Next comes the construct. A pure white loading space that feels like standing inside a soft cloud. Morpheus walks him through the history of humanity. Golden cities that once reached the sky. A perfect blue noon that humans themselves darkened because we feared the sun's power over the machines we created. The images flicker gently around you now. Skyscrapers blooming and crumbling like time-lapse flowers. The sky turning from blue to burnt orange to black. "We don't know who struck first," Morpheus murmurs, "but we know it was us who scorched the sky." Neo watches children laughing in a park that no longer exists, and something inside him aches with a tenderness he can't name. Do you ever look at old photographs and feel the weight of all the love that once lived there? Let that ache soften into warmth, into safety. Then the martial arts dojo. Warm wooden floors beneath bare feet. The faint scent of sandalwood and sweat. An old master program called Seraph will come later. But tonight it is Morpheus himself who bows, coat swirling like dark water. "Show me," he says simply. They fight, in slow, flowing circles at first, fists whispering through air, feet sliding with barely a sound. Then, faster, leather creaking, breath steady and calm. Neo is uploaded with skill after skill, jujitsu, kung fu, taekwondo, until his body knows centuries of muscle memory in minutes. When Morpheus finally pins him gently to the floor and whispers, "You think my being faster has anything to do with my muscles in this place?" Neo's only love, love of the truth. And Neo's eyes shine with the beginning of belief. Feel your own muscles relax now, every tendon loosening, every finger uncurling. They take him to see the oracle. The Nebuchadnezzar glides through sewer tunnels while outside. In the ruins, gentle rain falls on broken concrete. Inside a crumbling tenement building, warm and smelling of fresh-baked cookies, an old woman in a floral apron stirs a bowl and smiles like someone's favorite grandmother. She offers Neo a cookie still gooey from the oven, and he takes it, the chocolate melting softly, burning his tongue in the sweetest way. She studies his palm, the line's gentle rivers, and tells him, "You're not the one, but you could be once you stop trying to be." A vise breaks in the hallway, and she smiles knowingly. "Don't worry about the vase." Neo asks how she knew, and she answers, "What's really gonna bake your noodle later is, would you have broken it if I hadn't said anything?" Have you ever had someone see the truth inside you before you were ready to admit it? Let her cookie-sweet smile stay with you for a moment, warm and safe. Back on the ship, Cypher sits alone in the mess hall, red wine in a chipped mug, staring at the green code on the monitors. His heart is heavy with regret. He misses steak that tastes like real steak, the softness of ignorance. Tonight his betrayal feels only like a distant sadness, a lullaby soft. He makes a deal with Agent Smith over dinner in a fancy simulated restaurant, candlelight flickering gently, and for a moment he almost feels warm again. But the price is Trinity's life, Morpheus's life, Neo's life. When he finally pulls the plug on his crewmates one by one, their bodies jerk softly in their chairs, and Tank, Sweet Tank, finds strength to fight back with a lightning gun that crackles like faraway summer thunder. Cypher falls, whispering, "Ignorance is bliss." But tonight those words dissolve into nothing more than a sigh you can release with your next slow exhale. The rain keeps falling outside the ship, steady, kind, washing everything clean. Neo stands on the deck, coat flapping gently in the artificial wind of the construct, practicing bending spoons with his mind. A small child in saffron robes smiles at him and says, "There is no spoon." Neo closes his eyes, feels the metal soften like warm honey between his fingers. Something vast and quiet opens inside his chest. You feel it too, don't you? That space where impossible things become gentle truths. Breathe into that space. Let it grow until it fills every corner of your body with the softest green light. We're almost ready to follow them into the heart of the Matrix again, where bullets will slow like lazy snowflakes and love will become the strongest force in any universe. But for now, rest here on the Nebuchadnezzar, surrounded by the gentle hum, the smell of warm blankets and distant rain. Your eyelids are heavy, deliciously heavy. The story is holding you so tenderly. When you're ready, we'll step back through the phone line together. Until then, drift, my love. Drift deeper. The phone rings in an old subway station, a tired, dusty sound that feels like the last heartbeat of a sleeping city. Neo steps out of the green haze of the hard line, boots clicking softly on cracked tiles, coat still damp from the rain we've been carrying with us all night. Trinity and Switch materialize beside him in perfect silence, leather gleaming under flickering fluorescent lights. Their breath is slow, measured, the way yours is becoming now. Morpheus follows last, long coat sweeping the floor like a gentle tide, eyes calm and ancient. They are here to rescue him, to pull their teacher out of the grip of the agents. The air smells of wet concrete, ozone, and something metallic that tickles the back of your throat in the softest way. like the memory of a storm that never quite arrives. They move through the rotting heart of the city inside the Matrix. Rain again, of course, because the rain has become our lullaby tonight. Cool droplets sliding down black leather, tracing little rivers along Trinity's cheekbones, catching in Neo's eyelashes so he has to blink slowly, slowly. The streets are empty except for the occasional homeless man curled under newspapers, and the distant wail of a siren that fades into wind chimes. Every footstep makes the gentlest splash, 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 a rhythm you can rest your pulse against. Have you ever walked through rain so soft it felt like the sky was apologizing? Let that apology settle over your shoulders now, warm despite the chill. Inside a grand marble walls of an office tower, soldiers in SWAT gear wait with rifles that gleam coldly. Mouse, sweet nervous Mouse with his red dreadlocks, whispers quick good luck wishes before he stays behind with the exit phone. The elevator ride upward is quiet, cables humming like a mother's lullaby deep in the building's chest. When the doors open on the roof, a helicopter waits under sheets of rain, rotors already turning slow, lazy circles. The sound, a deep, protective thump 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 that travels straight into your chest and loosens everything there. Trinity slides into the pilot seat, fingers dancing over controls with the confidence of someone who has flown this dream 1,000 times. The windshield wipers sweep back and forth, steady as a heartbeat. Down below, in a quiet office lined with wooden panels the color of warm tea, Morpheus sits tied to a chair. His face is bruised but serene, eyes half closed, breathing slow. Agent Smith leans over him, voice smooth and poisonous, telling him that humanity is a virus, a disease. But tonight, even Smith's cruelty feels far away, muffled, like shouting heard through thick blankets. Morpheus simply smiles the tiniest smile, because he already knows something Smith will never understand. Love is stronger than any program. The agents begin to sweat him, needles glinting under harsh light. But we will let those needles become only cool raindrops on your temples. Nothing more. Neo and Trinity descend floor by floor in a storm of gunfire that, in our gentle telling, becomes soft wooden taps against glass beads rolling across the floor. Neo moves like water now, coat flaring, bullets passing through the air where his body was a heartbeat earlier. When he raises one hand and simply stops an entire hallway of bullets mid-flight, the sound is the softest chime, metal frozen in green-tinted rain, hovering like fireflies. Time stretches, sweet and thick as honey. Trinity whispers over the comm, "Can you fly that thing?" And Neo answers, voice low and certain, "Not yet." So Tank uploads a pilot program straight into Trinity's mind. You could almost feel the knowledge blooming behind her eyes, warm and golden, the way new memories sometimes arrive in dreams. She lifts the helicopter with impossible grace, cables snapping, glass exploding outward in slow crystalline petals. Morpheus breaks his own handcuffs with a calm flex of wrists, stands and steps to the window, just as Trinity swings the chopper close. The rope drops, rain-soaked and heavy. Morpheus grabs it, swings out into open air, coat billowing like dark wings. Agent Smith fires, bullets tearing through the helicopter's tail, and the world tilts. Trinity fights the controls, sweat on her upper lip, teeth gently clenched. The chopper spins, crashes into the side of building in a shower of sparks that tonight become only warm fireflies dancing around you. They crash land on a rooftop, metal screaming softly before everything goes quiet. Morpheus crawls from the wreckage, coat torn but still elegant, and pulls Trinity out, then Neo. For one long, breathless moment, they simply hold each other. Rain washing blood and dust from their faces, breath mingling in soft clouds. Neo looks at Trinity, really looks, and something vast and tender passes between them without a single word. Have you ever been held by someone whose silence felt louder than any promise? Let that silence wrap around you now, safe, warm, forever. But the agents are coming. Sirens rise like distant whale song. They run, boots pounding softly over wet concrete, leaping from rooftop to rooftop, wind roaring gently in their ears. Morpheus reaches the subway phone first, steps into the ringing booth, body shimmering as he dissolves home. Trinity is next, but Agent Smith is faster tonight, impossibly fast. He slides into the booth just as she reaches for the receiver, hand closing around her throat. Neo arrives a second later, eyes burning with something fierce and protective. The fight in the subway is poetry in slow motion. Coats flaring, ties whipping, fists meeting flesh with muffled thuds that tonight feel like gentle pillows. Sparks fly from destroyed lights, but they become only warm candle flames flickering around the edges of your vision. Smith empties an entire clip into Neo's chest. Each impact is soft tonight, barely a kiss against the fabric of his coat. Neo staggers back against tiled wall, blood blooming dark across his shirt, warm and slow. He looks down at the wounds, then up at Trinity's terrified eyes across the platform. She screams his name, voice cracking open the night. Neo slides down the wall, breath shallow, vision tunneling to green code. The rain overhead keeps falling, gentle, endless. Have you ever been so certain something was the end, only to discover it was actually the beginning? Hold that question like a smooth pebble in your palm, cool and comforting. Smith walks away, satisfied, shoes clicking softly into distance. Trinity kneels beside Neo's body, tears mixing with rain on her cheeks. She leans close, lips brushing his ear, and whispers the secret the Oracle gave her long ago. I'm not afraid anymore. The Oracle told me I would fall in love, and that the man I loved would be the one. So you see, you can't be dead. You can't be because I love you. Her voice trembles, but it is the strongest thing in the universe tonight. She kisses him, soft, desperate, tasting of rain and salt and hope. And something shifts. Inside the code, green rivers of light begin to glow gold. Neo's heart, which had stopped, takes one slow, deliberate beat, then another. His eyes snap open, no longer afraid. He stands. The rain slows until every drop hangs suspended like perfect jewels around him. Agent Smith turns, empties another clip. This time the bullets stop inches from Neo's chest, trembling in the air like shy birds. Neo raises one hand, palm open, and the bullets fall to the wet ground with the softest clink, clink, clink. He looks at Smith, really sees him for the first time, sees the code beneath the suit, beneath the anger. And with the gentlest push of his mind, Neo steps forward into him. We'll pause right here on the edge of the miracle, with the rain still hanging motionless, and Trinity's love still warm on Neo's lips. Your body is heavy now, deliciously heavy, every limb sinking deeper into the bed. The story is cradling you so perfectly. When you're ready, we'll watch Neo rise into the sky and carry you the rest of the way into the softest sleep you've ever known. The subway station has gone perfectly still, as though the entire world is holding its breath with you. Millions of raindrops hang in the air like tiny glass beads, catching the sickly green light of the matrix and turning it into something almost beautiful. Neo stands in the center of this frozen storm, coat barely moving, chest rising slow and steady beneath the blood-soaked shirt that is already knitting itself closed. The holes seal one by one, soft as butterfly wings folding. Agent Smith's eyes widen behind his dark glasses, just a fraction, but enough. For the first time in his existence, a program feels something very close to fear. Neo tilts his head, gentle, curious, the way you might study a strange bird that has landed on your windowsill. Then he takes one calm step forward. Smith fires again, wildly now, the gun barking in short, muffled bursts that tonight sound only like someone gently tapping on a distant wood. Each bullet stops a few inches from Neo's body, trembles, and drops with a delicate metallic sigh onto the wet tiles. Clink, 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 like the softest wind chimes saying goodnight. Neo keeps walking. His shoes make no sound at all. Trinity watches from the platform, tears still shining on her cheeks, but they are tears of wonder now. She whispers his name once, so quietly only you and I can hear it, and the sound is warm honey sliding down your spine. When Neo reaches Smith, he does not strike. He simply places one open palm against the agent's chest, right over the place where a heart would be. Smith looks down at that hand, as though it is the most terrifying thing he has ever seen. Neo's voice, when it comes, is the gentlest thing you have ever heard, almost a lullaby. You are never in control. Then he pushes, not with muscle, but with belief. Golden light floods out of his hand, soft as sunrise, and pours into Smith's body. The agent's mouth opens in a silent scream. His skin cracks along perfect green lines, light shining through every fracture. He tries to pull away, but the light is everywhere now, warm, forgiving, unstoppable. Piece by piece, Smith dissolves into countless tiny fireflies of code that rise slowly, slowly, swirling around Neo like friendly sparks before drifting upward and fading into the hanging rain. The frozen drops finally fall all at once, a gentle silver curtain washing the station floor clean. Neo turns to Trinity. She steps toward him, boots splashing softly, and they meet in the middle of the platform. No words. Just her hands sliding up to cradle his face, thumbs brushing away rain and blood that isn't there anymore, and his arms wrapping around her so carefully, as if she is made of the most fragile dreamlike glass. They kiss again, slower this time, deeper, tasting forever on each other's lips. You can feel that kiss, can't you? A quiet warmth blooming behind your own heart, spreading outward until your fingertips tingle and your toes curl deliciously under the blanket. Somewhere far away, in the real-world darkness, alarms begin to wail on the Nebuchadnezzar. Sentinels, hundreds of them, squid-like machines with red eyes and razor tentacles, are swarming through the sewers toward the hovering ship. Their screams are high and metallic, but tonight they reach us only as the faintest lullaby whine, like wind through far-off trees. Tank's voice crackles over the calm, urgent yet calm. We've got company. Morpheus, coat still torn, stands at the main controls, fingers dancing across keys with the grace of a pianist playing the softest nocturne. Time to go, he says, and his smile is proud, almost fatherly. Back in the Matrix, Neo and Trinity run hand in hand through corridors of green code. Every wall is translucent now to Neo's eyes. He sees the ones and zeros flowing like gentle rivers. They reach an old hotel, room 303. dust motes floating in shafts of pale light. The phone sits on a scarred wooden table, ringing with the sweetest bell you've ever heard. Trinity steps in first. She pauses, turns, touches Neo's cheek once more. "I wish I could come with you," she whispers, but her eyes say she already knows he has to finish this alone. She lifts the receiver, body shimmering, and is gone. A soft pop, like a kiss goodbye. Neo picks up the phone next. Before the line connects, Agent Smith reappears. No, hundreds of Smiths, filling every doorway, every hallway, all speaking in perfect, creepy unison. But Neo is unafraid. He lowers the receiver slowly, turns to face them, and smiles the smallest, gentlest smile. Then he charges. The fight that follows is less violence and more ballet. Neo moves through the swarm like wind through tall grass, every punch and kick perfectly placed, perfectly tender. When a Smith grabs him from behind, Neo simply rises, levitating inches off the ground, coat spreading like dark wings, and every Smith in the room is flung backward by an invisible wave of pure belief. Bodies crash softly into walls, through windows, into the rain outside, yet the impacts are cushioned tonight, almost loving. One Smith remains, the original, crawling across the floor, tie askew, glasses cracked. Neo kneels beside him. For a moment they simply look at each other. Then Neo places his hand on Smith's forehead, not to destroy, but to release. Gold light flows again, softer this time, quieter, almost a lullaby glow. Smith's last words are a whisper. "It's beautiful." And he dissolves into peaceful sparks that drift upward like fireflies returning to the stars. The phone is still ringing. Neo stands, walks to it, lifts the receiver to his ear. The line opens to Zion's mainframe, to Morpheus, to Trinity, to home. But before he leaves, he speaks into the matrix itself, voice, calm, warm, carrying to every sleeping mind still trapped in pods. "I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible." His words are soft, yet they ripple outward like circles on still water. Somewhere, millions of sleeping humans stir in their pink fluid, dreaming of blue sky for the first time in centuries. Then, Neo hangs up the phone. He looks straight up, through the ceiling, through the code and concrete and rain, and simply lifts off the ground. Slowly at first, coats settling around him like a cape, then faster, bursting through the roof in a column of golden light. He rises through the storm clouds of the matrix, through layers of green code that part for him like silk curtains, higher and higher until he breaks into clear digital sky. For one perfect moment he hovers there, arms slightly out, hair whipping gently in the wind of his own making, raindrops orbiting him like tiny planets. Then he rockets forward, a shooting star in reverse, leaving a trail of golden fire across the simulated heavens. Back on the Nebuchadnezzar, the crew watches the sentinel swarm close in. Morpheus closes his eyes, ready to die free. Trinity grips the arms of her chair, whispering Neo's name like a prayer. And just as the first sentinel raises its cutting beam, every machine in the tunnel suddenly freezes, shudders, powers down, and falls silent. Their red eyes fade to black. In the Matrix, system screens all over the world flash one simple message in gentle green letters. System reboot. Peace. The war, for now, is over. The ship is safe. The crew exhales as one. Trinity's tears this time are pure relief. She leans her head against the cool metal wall and smiles the most beautiful, exhausted, hopeful smile you have ever seen. Somewhere far above, in the real sky that humanity will one day see again, the sun is waiting to rise. Your own breathing is so slow now, so deliciously slow. Every muscle has melted into the mattress. The rain that has carried us all night is barely a whisper now, more memory than sound. You did it. You stayed with Neo through every gentle bullet, every loving resurrection, every tender flight. And now the story releases you softly, completely, into the deepest, sweetest sleep. The Nebuchadnezzar drifts in perfect silence now, engines idling like a sleeping giant's. The great ship rocking you ever so gently the way an old cradle rocks a child who is already halfway to dreams. All the red warning lights have dimmed to the softest amber glow, the color of candlelight seen through closed eyelids. Trinity sits in the operator's chair, headphones slipped down around her neck, one hand still resting on the console as though she can't quite believe the sentinels simply stopped. Her leather jacket is torn at the shoulder, a few strands of dark hair stuck to her cheek with dried rain and tears, but her face is luminous, peaceful, the face of someone who has watched a miracle and is still feeling it settle into her bones. She closes her eyes and whispers, so quietly only you and I can hear, "He did it. He really did it." The words are warm breath against your ear. Warm breath against the entire sleeping ship. Morpheus stands behind her, one large hand resting lightly on her shoulder, the proudest, gentlest smile you have ever seen softening the lines of his face. Tank and Dozer embrace in the background, quiet laughter that sounds like relief made audible, like champagne bubbles rising through still water. Even the metal walls seem to sigh, long and slow, as though the ship itself is exhaling centuries of war. Somewhere in the lower decks, water drips in a steady, soothing rhythm, plink, 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 matching the pace of your own heart perfectly now. Let that tiny sound carry every leftover tension out through the soles of your feet, out through your fingertips, out into the dark tunnels where it can dissolve harmlessly among the sleeping machines. Feel the temperature shift, just slightly cooler, the way the air feels right before true dawn. The crew gathers in the mess hall without needing to speak. Someone has warmed the last of the protein broth. Steam curls upward in lazy spirals, carrying the faint scent of rosemary that someone added months ago, and nobody has the heart to tell them is only imagination. They pass the bowl hand to hand, each taking a small sip, passing the warmth along like a promise. Trinity lifts the bowl to her lips, closes her eyes, and for a moment she is not the tough rebel in black leather. She is simply a woman who has been given back the man she loves, and that gift tastes better than any simulated steak ever could. Have you ever held something so precious you were afraid to breathe in case it vanished? Let that feeling settle into your chest now, not as fear, but as the deepest gratitude, soft and golden. Morpheus raises his chipped mug, real coffee, saved for the end of the world, and speaks so quietly the words feel like velvet. He has brought us the beginning of peace. Not the end of the war, perhaps, but the first true sunrise we have seen in generations. His voice cracks just slightly on the last word, and Trinity reaches up to cover his hand with hers. No one feels the need to cheer. The moment is too sacred for noise. Instead, they simply sit together, breathing the same air, sharing the same fragile, impossible hope. You are sitting with them, you know. Right there in the circle of warm light, your own invisible chair pulled close. No one minds. You belong here. Far above, in the reconstructed matrix, the sky is clearing for the first time in 200 years. Programmers in the machine city watch in stunned silence as their monitors as lines of green code rearrange themselves into gentle blues and golds. A little girl in a red dress, the same one Neo once offered a spoon, stands on a sunlit rooftop and lifts her face to real feeling wind. Somewhere else, an old man in a pod twitches, dreams of flying, and smiles in the dream. He actually lifts a few inches out of the pink fluid before settling back with a wondering smile. The architect, ancient and cold in his white room full of televisions, watches Neo's final message scroll across every screen and, for the first time in his endless existence, feels something perilously close to awe. Back on the Nebuchadnezzar, Neo's body lies very still in the chair beside Trinity's. His chest rises and falls so slowly it almost isn't moving at all, but a faint golden light pulses beneath his skin, traveling along his veins like warm starlight. Trinity brushes his hair back from his forehead, fingers lingering, counting heartbeats that are stronger with every minute. She leans close and whispers secrets only lovers share after the world has ended and begun again in the same night. Whatever she says makes the corner of Neo's mouth curve, the tiniest, sweetest smile, and the glow beneath his skin brightens for a moment, as if her voice alone is enough to recharge the sun. Trivia slips in now, soft as moonlight. Did you know that when Keanu Reeves first read the script, he cried because he understood Neo's loneliness so deeply it hurt? He trained 4 months without a single day off, broke ribs, learned to fight with nunchaku blindfolded, all because he believed in the Wachowskis, dreamed the same way Neo finally believed in himself. Carrie-Ann Moss practiced wire work until her hands bled, then smiled and asked for one more take, because Trinity deserved to fly perfectly. Every bruise, every blister, every sleepless night was an offering of love to this story. And tonight, all of that love flows back to you. Gentle, healing, endless. Have you ever loved something? A person, a dream, a quiet hope. So much you were willing to hurt for it. Let that love pool in your heart now, not as pain, but as the softest blanket ever woven. Let it cover you completely. The lights on the ship dim themselves to almost nothing, the way a thoughtful house dims when it knows its people need rest. One by one, the crew drifts to their bunks, footsteps soft on metal grates, blankets pulled up to chins, breathing already slowing. Trinity stays in the chair beside Neo, head resting on her arms across his chest, listening to the strong, steady heartbeat that death itself could not silence. Somewhere in the walls, the rain we have carried all night finally fades into the gentlest white noise, like waves far away on a beach you will visit tomorrow in dreams. You are almost gone now, aren't you? Your thoughts are soft clouds dissolving, your body heavier than moons. The last thing you feel is Trinity's voice, barely a breath, promising Neo, and promising you, that tomorrow will be the first day of a world where humans and machines might learn to share the sky. The last thing you see is Neo's hand moving, slow as sunrise, to rest over hers. The last thing you know is perfect safety. Sleep now, my sweet one. The Matrix has released you, just as it finally released them. There is no spoon. There is no fear. There is only this warm golden dark, and my voice curling around you like arms that will never let go. Drift all the way down. Let the ship rock you. Let the new sunrise wait until you are ready. You have all the time in every world. Good night, beloved dreamer. Good night. The Nebuchadnezzar has turned off almost every light, the way a kind parent dims the house once the children are finally tucked in. Only the faintest emergency strips glow along the floor, soft amber lines that feel like the last embers of a campfire you are allowed to fall asleep beside. The engines have dropped to the lowest possible murmur, a heartbeat so slow it could belong to the planet itself. Water still drips somewhere deep in the hull. Plink, pause, plink, pause, matching the space between your own breaths perfectly now. Every exhale is longer than the one before, every inhale softer, as though the air itself is learning how to rock you. Trinity has not moved from Neo's side. She is curled in the big operator's chair with her knees drawn up, one of his hands cradled between both of hers, cheek resting on his knuckles. His skin is warm again, real-world warm, and the faint golden pulse that traveled his veins earlier has settled into a steady, quiet glow, like a nightlight made of pure hope. Occasionally her thumb strokes across the back of his hand, slow circles, the same way the ocean strokes the shore when it is finally at peace. She is humming, barely audible, an old lullaby her mother sang to her before the machines took the sky. The notes are so soft they feel like feathers settling over your shoulders, over your chest, over every place that has ever carried worry. Morpheus stands in the doorway for a long time, coat hanging open, watching them with the gentlest smile you have ever seen on a warrior's face. He does not speak. He simply allows himself one slow breath that sounds like centuries of gratitude, then turns and pads away down the corridor, footsteps fading into the ship's loving hum. The others are already asleep, Tank snoring softly in his bunk, Dozier's big arm flung over his eyes, even the mice in the walls curled into tiny warm balls. The entire ship has agreed, without words, to be perfectly quiet, so that love can finish whatever healing it started tonight. Outside the porthole windows, the tunnels are dark and calm. The sentinels hang motionless, tentacles curled like sleeping cats, red eyes closed for the first time anyone can remember. Somewhere far above, the real moon, scarred, ancient, beautiful, is sliding across a sky that still remembers stars. It sends one thin silver blade of light through a crack in the hull plating, and that light lands gently on Neo's face. His eyelashes flutter. Trinity feels the tiny movement in his fingers and lifts her head. Their eyes meet. No hurry. No words yet. Just the slowest, sweetest smile spreading across both their faces at exactly the same moment, as though the same dream woke them both. She leans in and presses her forehead to his, and the glow beneath his skin brightens just enough to light her tears into tiny liquid stars. Trivia drifts in one last time, soft as a bedtime secret. The final shot of Neo flying upward was done with Keanu hanging on wires for 14 straight hours, smiling the whole time because he said it felt like becoming the hope he always wished the world had. When the camera stopped, the entire crew stood and applauded for 5 full minutes, crying quietly, the way people cry when something broken has finally been made right. That applause is still echoing somewhere, and tonight it becomes the gentlest applause of rain on the hull, tap, 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 applauding you for staying, for listening, for letting this story love you all the way into sleep. Have you ever woken from a dream so beautiful you tried to fall back asleep just to keep living inside it? This is that dream, and you never have to leave. The ship will keep rocking, the lullaby will keep humming. The golden glow will keep traveling from Neo's heart to Trinity's, from their joined hands to your heart, until every corner of you is filled with the same quiet certainty. You are safe, you are loved, you are free. There is nothing left to wait for. No more bullets, no more pods, no more questions that hurt. Only this moment, stretched wide and warm like an endless blanket. Let your thoughts scatter like dandelion seeds on the ship's soft wind. Let your body sink one final inch into the mattress, then another, until there is no difference between you and the bed, between you and the hum, between you and the love that saved the world tonight. The rain has stopped, the wind has stopped. Even my voice is barely a breath now, the last feather falling. You did it, sweet dreamer. You followed Neo all the way into the sky, and all the way back down into the deepest peace. The Matrix has let you go. The real world is holding you. Sleep now. Sleep forever, if you like. I will stay right here, whispering the silence you need, until morning finds you gentle and new. Good night. Good night. Good night.